Okay.
No.
Oh, we're streaming. Are we live, folks?
We are live.
One day I'll just get that perfect. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today? I hope you're doing well, and I'm so glad you have joined us for yet another creative conversation. All I can say about these is they started just about a year ago because we wanted to really reach out in some way and connect with the artists that have made NAHA what it is today. And we've just been so thrilled and honored at the A-listers, the people at the very beginning of their NAHA journey, the people who have been on their NAHA journey their entire NAHA lives, the friends and the family of NAHA. It's just been such an amazing journey, and the journey continues. And hey, by the way, did you catch out Silas saying hello 2 weeks ago? That much genius should not be allowed in one little body. If you didn't, you can check out Silas and the others by going to probeauty.org/NAHA. Anytime you like, watch them at your leisure, grab your tea, grab your coffee. Yes, I have both. And yes, it says Michael Shaun Exposed on my mug because I'm exposed every day. So make sure that you check those out. So just a couple things that I would like to share with you first is that NAHA entry is opening on June 14th. Through September 10th. Now is the time. Plan those shoots, get your ideas together, and make sure you're getting those entries in. I would also like to mention that because we know this year has been a little bit of a struggle for many of us as we're just getting into the swing of things, as we lost that salon revenue for a little bit, we're giving you another second chance. We're allowing the remix again this year. Make sure you go to probeauty.org/NAHA to read the rules. They're pretty specific. Basically, in a nutshell, if it's been nominated, it doesn't qualify. It doesn't matter what category, any category, folks, it does not qualify. But if it hasn't, and you want to give it a new color and you want to zip it up a little bit without breaking the photo manipulation rules, go ahead and enter it. We are extending that again so that there are more opportunities to enter NAHA with beautiful work. In addition to that, we have, let's learning how to navigate things here today. We want to remind you that tickets are selling very, very fast. For the live NAHA show. We did not want to do it virtually. I mean, come on, you saw the Oscars. Do you think we made a good call? What was that? I'm just saying, although I did love seeing Glenn Close do the butt, I'm not gonna lie. But we want ours to be live. We want it to be real. And so make sure you get your tickets. For now, tickets are sold in 2s and 4s. So bring your friends or bring your husband or wife or bring your BFF, but you can buy tickets in 2s and 4s. Get those before they sell out. It is not going to be as much capacity, which means they're going to sell out much, much quicker. So join us for Cosmoprof as well, but that Sunday night, as always, is NAHA, August 29th, probeauty.org/NAHA to get your ticket information. And I also want to mention that our next interview on Creative Conversation, before I get to our very talented guest today, will be Jamal Edmonds. He is a texture finalist, as well as a styling and finishing finalist. So can't wait to have that wonderful chat with him. Oh no, I'm giving away too much. I'm giving away too much. Back to cameras. So without further ado, what I would like to do is talk about an up and coming hairstylist who isn't ashamed to say it. Her journey has recently begun. She's already specializing in editorial work and very creative color. And you're going to see what I mean by that a little later in the show. The creativity is mind-blowing. She was awarded the 2020 Newcomer Hairstylist of the Year by the North American Hairstyling Awards. And her work is just such a pleasure, and we were so happy to be able to present her with that award. She has been labeled by several publications as the one to watch, and it's because she has these incredible hands and these visions of what she is doing. And boy, were they right. She is nominated again, not for newcomer, because soon you're all going to know her name. She is nominated in the styling and finishing category. We wish her best of luck with that. And we will definitely be talking about her full inspiration and how she got that look. Her styling and finishing has led her to many publications, which we will talk about, which include Elle Magazine and our beloved Modern Salon that we all know and love. A pure artist and inspiration to us all. Please welcome to the show, Cassie Carey. Are you here, my dear? Oh, I made a rhyme.
I'm here.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
And a coffee toast to your 2 years of nominations here. Cheers, cheers.
Cheers.
It's like these started out, I'm not kidding. Sorry, Nick Sensen. I know we were doing like whiskey, tequila. Now we've mellowed. We're like tea and coffee these days.
It's tea time.
It's tea time, exactly. So let's get into it. You were born in a small town in New Hampshire. And I love digging into how did someone at a young age decide I want to do hair, right? We all have our own journey. Mine was standing on a stool, styling my mom's hair, 5 years old for bowling night, and bleaching her roots by 10 years old. It was kind of a destiny. Of course, involves your parents as well. Would you share that with us, please?
Yeah. So growing up, my parents were separated, which a lot of parents are. And so when I would go to my mom's house, she would braid my hair so I could wear it to school for a couple days or just wear it. And then eventually she taught me how to do it for myself and then how to do it on her. And then I was so excited. I would go home and my dad at the time had long hair because he was a hippie. And so I would like sit on the back of the couch while he was watching his sports and just braid his hair. So I don't know, it just kind of turned into that. And then I started every Sunday I would set my grandmother's hair for her.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just kind of evolved into what it is now.
You just knew, and that's funny that it started with braids. I would say you're becoming very known for your braid work. Some of it, I don't even know if you could call it a braid because it looks like it takes 5,000 days to do it, and
it does.
Incredible patience. So, all right. So after that incredible childhood, I love that your dad was a hippie. You moved to New York, like one of my favorite divas ever, like Madonna. You just moved to New York. Didn't have like massive amounts of plan, didn't have sponsorship or money. You just moved there and maybe you were super lucky and got to work with someone like Avantgarde. But tell us that story.
So, I mean, I knew I wanted to move to New York. I went there one time with one of my friends and her dad was a hairstylist. So he took us to the beauty show that goes on here, IBS. And then I was like, okay, I'm moving here. So then after beauty school, like I saved all through beauty school and enough to move. And luckily I was interviewing in a couple places and I interviewed at Avantgarde Studio and they had hired me like a month before I moved. So I was super lucky with that. They took a chance on me because so many people say that they're moving to New York and then just back out or never do or wait another year,
Yeah.
So I got lucky with them taking a chance and it ended up being like the absolute perfect place for me to start out, for sure.
That's amazing. And what's it like working with Ammon? Everybody's obsessed with him.
Ammon is so sweet. I mean, it's funny because when I got there, it was like the tail end of Avantgarde Studio because he had just moved to Chicago to work for Ulta and all that kind of stuff. So, but I was still lucky to have the space itself and everyone that had worked with him, and he would pop in and out. And so I got a lot of experience working with so many different artists instead of just like a few. Like I worked with so many different artists and learned so many things and different ways to do things,
Do you think where you live is part of what inspires you?
I think where I live allows me to do the things that I do because I just know like there's I had to move here to be able to do that. You know, I mean, you can still do it in small towns, but
Yeah.
it's harder to find the models that will let you do crazy things to their hair, or you know, now that with all the things that I know, I think it would have been easier, you know, to be able to do that. But before knowing what I know now, I definitely think I needed to move here.
So let's talk about that journey. So you said this was the very first ever thing you did in beauty school. I mean, many people can't do work this pretty, 50 years in their career. You were still in beauty school when you did this?
Yeah, so this is a funny story. This is my first ever photo shoot. All three of those girls were either like clients that were seeing me or friends of mine,
Yeah.
and they let me like do cool stuff to their hair. And the backdrop is actually like a black bed sheet, just like safety pinned to the wall. And I was just like absolute shambles, like had nothing. I just it was shot in my beauty school classroom, like pushed the desk aside, pinned it up in the wall, and just started shooting. So I colored all of their hair like the day before, and then
Oh my God, that's
it was
awesome. So hair hack, NAHA beauty entry hack number one. I want to start here, Cassie, with your 2020 Newcomer Hairstylist of the Year win. Again, congratulations
thank
for
you.
your win. This is what I'm talking about. Like, let's start with the hair. What the heck? I don't even know what I'm looking at. I just know that I don't know how to do that.
This was great. So I had like this planned in my head for months. Like when I probably around the time I moved to New York,
Mhm.
actually when my first week in New York and at Avantgarde Studio, there was a lot of NAHAs being shot there at the time. So I really got like a whole like behind the scenes of like what actually goes down and how it's totally done. And so I like saved my pennies that whole year just to be able to do this shoot. But it took like weeks to braid this stuff because I was working full time. Like I was working crazy. I had just moved here and like needed money. So I mean,
Yeah.
I would braid for an hour here, an hour there. Like, so I feel like if I had a solid amount of chunk of time, I could have done faster, but still. So all of that is made up of like tiny scissor braids. So it just took forever.
Tell me about the final one. It's almost like you did this really elaborate braid and then there's like some sort of stitching to it as well, or
Oh, okay. So that is actually the first one that I had in my head. Like that was the first one the other two I like figured out later on, but that one I knew for sure I wanted to do that.
yeah.
And it's actually like painted on.
No way.
Yeah, the stripes are painted on. And I had tried like you because this was like I was using like like cheaper hair, so it wasn't like color wasn't sticking to it. So I
Yeah.
had tried to color it before and then braid it in, but then it got like my hands were black, the rest of the white hair was black, so like clothes were black. So I just like threw it out, like just got rid of that idea, and then just painted it afterwards. Just took, you know.
Yeah. Let's talk about the makeup because it really disappears into the shot, but I think it's important to really making the hair stand out the way it does. What was your inspiration here?
So I just wanted it to be like super beautiful, you know, like I didn't want it to be anything too crazy. I wanted everything about her to be enhanced, like glowy, and I knew like the photo itself was going to be high contrast. So I didn't want anything too crazy on her to like hollow her out at all. You know, I just wanted it to completely complement the story. I
Yeah.
feel like that's super important too, and I've been learning that like more and more, just to let it complement the story instead of having it, you know, it's a hair shoot, so instead of having it take it over, you know,
Yeah.
it's better to have it complement it.
Very, very smart. The photography is gorgeous.
Yes.
Who did you work with?
Richard Monsieur.
Okay. Very nice.
So he shoots a lot of Nahas, and I met him at Imakawa Studio while he was shooting there.
Okay.
Um, And I feel like that's like anyone who's looking to enter NAHA, I feel like that's the biggest thing for me personally, was to invest like my biggest amount of money, or like it's my priority to make sure I have a good photographer that I can trust with this thing I've been working on for months, you know, because you could just
Yeah,
pour your heart into something, and if it's not shot correctly, then that's it. Like, you know,
it's true.
so someone that I could trust and I knew would be able to produce what I was hoping for.
So is there any sort of it, you put this as the high priority, is there, because this is all about learning
Yeah.
whether people have been shooting or whether people are interested in doing a shoot. Do you make a list? Do you make storyboards for your shoot? How is it you get to full production? Can you share some of that with us?
Yeah. So for me, like this one, it started out with an idea of like, I knew I wanted white hair. I wanted it to be like some crazy braids. I knew like that. My priority is definitely making sure I have the hair nailed down, like to a T, everything that I want it to be. And then making sure that I have my photographer. And then luckily I've worked with, because of Avantgarde Studio, I have some better connections with, great friends here in New York who are amazing makeup artists. And so I trust them with the makeup. And then this, I feel like the biggest hurdle for people to like get over with NAHA is the price, like how much it actually takes to put on a shoot. And for sometimes it's a lot, and then sometimes you can like really like, this was a very cheap shoot, like very cheap considering other shoots. This was very cheap, and that's, she doesn't have any wardrobe on, like that's where I could save my money. Is okay, cut wardrobe. Let's like put her hands there. That's that. And so I saved money
Let's
on like,
talk about the model. The model is gorgeous. It's the same model in all three images, so that
yeah.
saves money, right?
Yeah, that saves a lot of money too. Using the same model in all three images, just making sure it's like completely different. As long as it's allowed, that's like something I like to do. And also, it's like, it's comfortable. You're with the same person. You can just work simultaneously. You're not worrying about three other people. You're worried about one. So for me, I prepped all of this hair, and it was ready to go the day of. So all I had to do was like pop it on her head and shoot. And so that for me, like it being my own like my first big production, that was super important for me to like just not stress out and just have it done and not worry about it. So that was like a big stress relief right there.
Yeah,
it's done beforehand. Yeah.
It's like in construction, they say measure 3 times and cut
Totally.
once. You knew it was measured, or
yeah.
make it
Well, it's also like, yeah, and also like I was assisting, like I didn't have an assistant. I didn't have a line of assistants. I didn't have people to help me. So it's like, I have 2 hands. How can I get this done the fastest I can do it? And luckily Richard was amazing, and he shot with the best of the best all throughout the industry for everyone. And I remember like my favorite part about that day was walking in, and I was so nervous, and he looked at me and he was like, it was like 10 a.m. in the morning, and he was like, I will shoot all night if we have to. He's like, we're gonna get this. He's like, don't worry, like I will shoot all night. And so that, like, I just like, okay, just took a deep breath, and then we shot it, and it was phenomenal.
So a 1-day shoot, amazing, 1 model, and look at the result. And again, congratulations on this super win. So you're just sort of settling down from the excitement of that,
Yes.
right? And then you find out, holy crud, I'm nominated again. But in a new category, the very prestigious styling and finishing category. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what is the overarching inspiration here? We'll break it down. We'll first talk big inspiration on hair, then we'll talk makeup and wardrobe and photographer, so forth.
Okay, so for hair, this was you know, like I said, mentioned for my first collection, I had like it planned out. I knew what I had the images in my head for months. I knew what I wanted to do. This, I had no idea. Like, I even contemplated not entering this year, just because COVID and everything that was going on. I was like, can I afford it? Can it's like, and you know, for me, luckily, COVID wasn't as horrible as it could have been. You know, like knock on wood, thank God, I didn't lose any family members, or you know, I was okay. I was home, so financially, I was you know all right. So I was like, why would I not shoot? So
Yeah.
I was like, this whole world's on pause. My career doesn't have to be on pause. So I decided to shoot. So this, I had no idea what I was going to do. I knew I wanted to work with texture in some way, but
Yeah.
not like the normal, like, I guess not normal, but like I didn't know, like I wanted to create my own texture, you know, and
Yeah.
not just buy textured wigs or anything like that. I wanted to completely from scratch, color, cut, style, just create my own texture, all that kind of stuff. So
And I mean, I don't even know what I'm looking at. It's so intricate, right? Like, so this is braided on her head, it looks like.
which one? The blue one?
Yeah, so yeah, the far, that beautiful sort of turquoise green.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are all wigs
Okay,
and
got it.
I braided all of the wigs. So this was another thing. So I could have it done the day of and I had, you know, like I
Yeah,
just had to make sure it was done.
yeah.
Especially because to save money this year, I'd made it a half day shoot instead of a full day shoot. So it was like fast. So these were completely done the day of, just had to throw it on her head. So yeah, so I braided on the wig and then that's just kind of how it came out. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, it's like, and those shapes, I wouldn't even know how to do that. Makeup, it seems like it's a bit tying the hair color, a bit monochromatic at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's another thing. Like for hair, I wanted it to be like the super pastel, like muted pastels, you know,
Yeah.
against and then like a super white background, white clothing, super like highlighted body, just to accentuate the pastel part of it. And so the makeup kind of went along with that. I just wanted to tie it in a little bit. Because then it looks like, you know, like there's like the purple look and then the turquoise look and then the pink look. So I don't
Yeah.
know, that kind of just came all together as well. I like to also like it's my shoot and I plan it, but like I like to get the feedback from the makeup artists and stuff because it's fun for them too, you know.
Absolutely. Any shout outs for wardrobe, or did you do that
Yes.
yourself?
Yeah, so wardrobe was done by Jennifer Daniels, and
Really
she
good.
actually models a lot for NAHA, and I met her through Image Studio, and she like I'm good friends with her. I was actually texting her the day before, just being like didn't have wardrobe plans again. Like I just waited till the last minute. I was like,
More
okay,
nudies.
I can do it again. Like, so then I was like, I kind of want this to be more zoomed out this time. So like we threw wardrobe together like the night before. The makeup artist actually brought like a couple white pieces. I brought a couple white pieces. Jen brought a bunch of pieces. And then she just kind of threw it on her
I love it.
the
It's
day of.
so simple and clean. It seems to be based on the same pant,
Yeah.
right? And then you really adjust the tops, which,
Yep.
I mean, cohesiveness is part of the judging, right? So don't be afraid to maybe have matching bottoms, but then
Right.
really just change the shapes and textures. Again, really nicely executed. On either of your shoots, was there some big unexpected challenge that you could share with us?
Big unexpected challenge. I would say this year, so more so just like tackling like the whole financial part of it every time. Like
Yeah.
this year because of COVID and stuff, or like Avantgarde studio had closed, so now I had to pay for a studio to shoot. I never had to have to pay for the studio because I worked at
Ah,
the studio, so that was amazing. So I had just like extra expenses. Luckily, nothing too crazy unexpected. I guess the model, I got her like 2 days before, so that was kind of like a little stressful.
That is stressful.
Yeah, like I had one, she backed out for like she had like something else. You know, you get paid more, you have to back out. That's just how it is.
I
So
don't agree with that. By the way, I've had it happen to me, and I'm like, shame on you.
I know, it happened. So you know, it was a little stressful, but it worked
Yeah.
out perfectly, and this model wore it amazingly. So
So this is one model, because I would swear the girl in the green is Asian, and the other, well, number one, but the middle one, they don't look like the same person. So
not
well
at
done.
all, not at all. Yeah, so this
Wow,
is the same person. Saved money there again, and she looks
amazing.
completely different in each one. That's a big shout out to my makeup artist.
What's her name?
It was him, and his name is Bruce
Bruce.
Lindstorm. Yeah, and he's phenomenal. So I wanted her to look different. The looks were completely different in each one. So, and he totally executed it.
Congratulations to you both. It looks amazing. So I did a little creeping on you, and it's in your bio, it's everywhere, as you're being called the one to watch. You've been a painter your whole life, and like, I don't know, during a pandemic, you've just been buzzing off some hair and having some fun and blowing up on social media. What are we looking at here?
So the whole like shaved head art thing is kind of taking off, where I feel like that's like a big popular thing right now. And I don't know. I mean, I just wanted to try. I can paint. I've always been able to paint. So I was just like curious how I could bring that to the table, like in the hair world, like how I could take my painting or my drawing and all this stuff and translate it into hair. And I guess shaved heads was the way to go. And it's just like a blank slate. You know, you bleach it and it's like a whole canvas. So all of it. I mean, all of it is direct dye, so they wear it for weeks, and then it eventually fades out. But
Probably looks cool.
It's cool.
Probably looks cool as it fades. Some questions I have. So how light do you have to go, like inside of a banana peel? Do you keep some yellow? I've heard both answers. Like how light do you bleach it?
So it totally depends on like the color. Like you can see for like the smiley face one with the checkers, the white has to be really, really white, you know? So for that, I had to bleach it a bit higher. The galaxy one, actually, like I probably should have left it on like an extra 10 minutes. Like it was a little yellow, but it didn't matter. Like I knew I was going to paint over it. So it all depends like on the color that I'm going for afterwards. If it's like super vivid and all this kind of stuff, like it'll pick up, you know? I say if it was going to be like pastels or you want it to be super light, then I would lift it higher to be able to like pick up those colors and not have them translate into like a muddier color.
How short do you go? What clipper number?
I would say anywhere between a 1 and like a half. Like, okay. Yeah, I would say like probably like a 1, sometimes shorter. And usually I fade like the sides and the back and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. And on the first one, did you shave in between that graphic? Okay.
Yeah. So actually this is a tip that I love to share on my Instagram is like it's so easy when you're trying to do like these really crazy designs to get lost and like just jump in there with the clippers, then make a mistake. So I like to actually use like a really cheap lip liner or eyeliner, something that will wash off with the shampoo, and just draw it on before, just like really lightly draw it on, so like I know it's mapped out for me, and when I go in with the clipper, I'm not gonna make a mistake because it's there for me. It's a stencil, so I'd rather make the mistake with the lip liner first than instead of the clipper. So yeah.
Very smart. And I have to say, I really love the hairline on the happy face. Like, it just looks like it's melting, and I think that could really become a big trend, is sort of melting hairlines. It's very creative.
Thank you.
So what I'd also like to talk about, we get a lot here at NAHA of what is avant-garde, what is styling and finishing, and what is editorial. And what I like about you at your young age, I'm sure early 20 somethings, I'm guessing you never ask a woman her age, though, um, is that you found a way to pull it all together. And congratulations on your Elle magazine shoot. This is what I'm talking about, folks. First of all, this is what the editorial category is about. Things that are in magazines that have that NAHA quality work to them. I also like that some might think of this work as very avant-garde, and yet you've got it with, there's like a cute little fuzzy flannel striped jacket, and it looks like maybe there's some denim or so canvas materials. So let's talk about this shoot and what designers, what was the look, what was the direction, because in this type of shoot, I know, because this is my world, it's not about you. They respect what you bring to the table, but they have a vision, right?
Yeah. So that's like, that's a good reason why I actually enter NAHA, is because like I'm so used to doing things for other people, and according, like, I have a vision, or like they listen to my opinions, but it's their shoot. It's what they want, the direction that they want. So that's why I like NAHA, because it's my direction, it's my plan, it's my everything.
Yeah.
So this actually was the photographer, and she's also the stylist. I met her on a different shoot, and she was having a hard time finding a hairstylist that could braid.
Okay.
And which is actually crazy to me how popular that is, like here in the city too. There's a lot of stylists that like say no to braiding. And I love to braid, so I was like, well, I can do it. And so she kind of, she knew the editor from Elle. That she knew like how they go about their things. They wanted it to be a braid story, and it's funny that you call it like avant-garde, because it is, but then like Elle is so not avant-garde most of the time. Like, they're very concerned, like just like modest and
mainstream, high fashion.
Yeah, high fashion. So she was like, okay, like she was really worried about like it being too much. She's like, we have to make sure it's like perfect, like it has to be perfect. But it was a lot of fun. I don't really know the designers. I wish I did. I wasn't
listed on the pages.
Yeah, it's on my Instagram. It's on her Instagram.
That's so cool.
But yeah, so it's really interesting, like kind of like bringing. It's like a totally different world in editorial than it is like NAHA, because it's like, this is where you make your money. This is, you're doing things for other people. It's their vision. It's going for a certain look. You have to work for a certain look in the magazine. So according to whatever magazine it is, that's what you have to go for.
So as an editorial stylist forever, one of the things I would point out that keep this from being overly hairdressery for editorial, which is probably the fear of the art director, is you beautifully loosened just some braids. You pulled some hair onto the face. It's perfectly imperfect. It's deconstructed, and all those sort of things are what make things editorial beyond hair editorial, right? So I think that's where you really hit the mark here, and I'm sure you're going to get lots more editorial work because of that.
I feel like that's like the hard part, is like trying to separate like the hair story shoot, like in the hair world, versus like fashion world. It's like, okay, I could take this, but how do I make it cooler? Like, or how do I make it more editorial? Yeah.
And wearable. She could wear that. She could wear this camping. She could wear it to the Met Gala. She could wear it to dinner. She could wear it for the holidays. You made it wearable. And I think that's where the greatness comes in, is when we can take these sort of high art theories and really make them something that we can use in our everyday lives. I like what you did here for this shoot. Again, enter these sort of things in the editorial category. What makes something editorial? And I think we should just stay honed in on that, Cassie. It's not about you. You were hired to do a job. You followed direction and you gave it your flavor, right? And if you look at the greats, if you look at, the Orbes, and you look at the other, I mean, there's just so many out there that are doing this. Yes, they have a style, but they also take direction from a shoot, and they
Totally.
get paid for it. So are you paying for it, or are you getting paid for it?
Right.
So tell us about this shoot.
So this shoot was actually just a test shoot that we end up, most test shoots, after I've built my book, when I first moved here, I test shooted, like I did so many shoots just to build
Yeah.
a book. I had nothing. So now if I test shoot, it's like with a purpose. It has to like, either we have a publication already lined up, or like we're for sure going to get it in somewhere, or, like you trust the photographer, whoever you're working with, like, it's going to come out great.
Let's talk about the test. Since you
Yes.
brought it up, I did a ton of testing when I was a youngin'. And it's LA, and it was like a lot of actor-y things that I was like, literally, I'm doing something for an actor's Z card. I don't want to be here. You know what I mean? So what is a test exactly it's not a practice shoot.
Right. So a test shoot is where basically everyone does it for free. Like, everyone is doing it for free for benefit of their book. So like the model needs the images, the photographer needs the images, I need the images, or it's going to be published somewhere that's already lined up. So this, I forget which magazine it went to, but I know it was like over in Russia. It was in like a couple of them. So yeah, so I test shoot all the time. I still test shoot all the time. That's a good way to like make your connections too when you're just starting out. At least for me, like I've met so many photographers that way and makeup artists that way, and now I have like this book of people that I like to work with, and all of that came from test shooting. So it's kind of crazy, like all the things that you do and you just don't really know where it's going to end up, and then it can totally open up a whole new door.
It's amazing and great work. I love that you did that. How did you get I should show the hydrated hair. I'm a little obsessed with wet looks.
Yes.
Is it oil? Is it water?
It's water. Like,
okay.
if you want a good wet look, use water. Like I use water, I use mousse, or like mostly water and maybe like a little volumizing spray. And like, it's kind of annoying because the hair is going to dry. But you can, if you want a wet look that is not going to be like this girl needs to go home at the end of the day. If you put oil or gel in her hair, it's not moving. So if you want a good, movable, like workable wet look, it's water.
Yeah, I discovered that, and I knew that was going to be the answer. Ward Stegerhook it was a mentor to me through Living Proof, and I was like, yeah, wet look. I'm thinking this oil and this, and he's like, you got a bottle of water?
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
No, so I always have just a bottle of water, like a spray bottle of water with me.
But here in Hollywood, we have it a little bit harder. When KK did her wet look, she can't go to the awards with a bottle of water. Same with Jay. Like, you have to use an oil mix, oil and gels. Deer does a good job with it always. So
that's a different ball game.
I'm on the Hollywood side.
For a shoot, water. For maybe a red carpet, maybe actual product.
Yeah, actual product. And sometimes don't be afraid of like a hard gel that looks wet, because it's gonna last. Yeah. Well, I thank you for all the creativity. That stuff was so beautiful. I want to ask you this, because a lot of people, we have meetings as a committee, as an organization all the time about what does NAHA do for somebody's life. And I would love to know how NAHA has changed your life in any way, how it's touched your life.
It's really interesting because I won NAHA and then the world shut down. I worked my whole career for this moment, and then the world shut down. And I was like, it's okay. Like, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, because I have this collection that I love and I poured my heart into, and it's like the world shut down, but it got published all over the world, it went all over the world. I met amazing people. I challenged myself. I feel like that's like the biggest takeaway from all of it is like, you challenge yourself, and how far you grow after that is like really incredible.
Yeah.
And every year you can kind of see how far or like how much you've changed or how your aesthetic has changed or how you challenged yourself in some way. So like this year, I challenged myself by working with texture and creating a texture. And so it's like, what am I going to do next? I don't really know, but I feel like it's changed my life a lot, and it's created this whole other avenue that most people like don't even know exists. You know, like
Yeah.
unless you know it's there, then you know.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people don't even know it's a thing. And so I don't know. It's been amazing.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. I really believe you are part of the new blood of NAHA, and we're so appreciative for you being a part of the event and the organization and the competition. Are we planning a 2022 shoot?
Yes. I haven't started planning, but yes, I will shoot again for sure. I don't have it planned yet or anything like that, but yeah, I'm gonna be shooting again.
You want to give us a sneak on what your inspiration is this time, or are you gonna make us wait?
I don't know what my inspiration is this time. This is crazy to me.
You're
It's like
getting more and more New York.
yeah, it's like I don't really know what my inspiration. It's kind of like I have to sit there and think about it. I don't really know yet. I'll find out. But it's like I'm working on other projects up and coming, so it's like I'll find out, you know. And then I always like it, I'm like I shouldn't save it till the last minute, but I feel like everyone always does, you know. So
Yeah,
we'll see. I'll shoot again. I just don't know what.
my last NAHA shoot for Master Stylist, I had Vogue Italy photographer. I'm in Milan. I had Italian models and one German model who was stunning, and I was like, I don't need a plan. I
Yeah.
have all this. But I have to say, I got there and I wished I had a plan. So don't underestimate the plan, because it was like things hit you last minute. And I made the big mistake, which is one image isn't as strong as the rest.
Yeah.
And you can't get out of that. You've got to create that magic all over again. And I'll tell you, as a judge for many years now, 1 week photo can sink the ship. So make your plans, girl. Make your plans.
I know. I will. I mean, I always say I don't plan well, but then like the day of, I have everything done. So I guess I plan pretty okay.
So we have a fun little question we like to do at the end, which is congratulations, Crayola Crayon loves you so much, Cassie, that they have decided they want you to do a new influencer crayon, and you get to choose the color and you get to name it. What color is it going to be? Please describe it for us, and what will you name it?
So this is a color that no matter what, I can never get away from. I don't know, like I try to do things or like I try to like other colors, and it's like the first thing that catches my eye. And I would describe it as like that really bright bluish green color that's like I guess you would see it for like tropical ocean water or something like that. You know, like it's like that really bright greenish blue, electric blue type color. I don't know. It's the first thing my eye catches all the time. So I actually looked up. I don't know if it's like I think it's an actual color, but it was called like cyan or something. I don't know if it's a crayon, but it's like CYAN. That's the name of the color. So if that's not a crayon yet, that's my crayon.
Well, we'll have to, since we have to make it personalized, maybe we'll call it Cassian.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. We'll go with
that.
I always give my guests the final word, but I want to, there's one question I didn't get to that I think we can make part of your closing comments to us, and that is any advice for younger folks who are thinking, I don't know if NAHA's for me.
I would say just do it. Like there's so many ways to save money. You don't need this whole entire production. You don't need this whole entire team. You don't need 5 assistants with you. You know, you can do it. And as long you just have to make sure you do it. Like you can't just like keep pushing it back, because then you'll feel not disappointed, but maybe disappointed that you didn't do it. And every year that it goes along, you're going to wish that you did. So just do it. Like, there's no reason to wait. And if it doesn't get nominated, that's okay, because you did it, and then you can work from it. And then also you can get that published in magazines all over, you know? I feel like that's a lot of things people don't think about either. It's like, it's okay if it doesn't get nominated because you did it, and you can also get it published and have it recognized that way, or enter into different competitions, or do all this other stuff that people like. It's not just, oh, I didn't get nominated, that's it, you know? It's not so black and white.
Well, you see, folks, that's why publications are calling her the one to watch, because she's smart. Cassie, thank you so much for joining us here today. You've been just an absolute inspiration and pleasure. They've been posting. I've just been so engaged in everything you're talking about that we're getting lots of positive comments about your work on our Facebook Live. And people are saying, hello, you should be entering into the editorial category. So maybe don't forget about that one. To all of you watching, don't forget that this journey continues. It's always creative conversations. You can be the level of a Silas Sang. You can be the level of a Nick Stenson or an Ammon Carver. You can be a Nicholas French. You can be a Tabitha Coffey. Oh, by the way, they've all been on the show. Did I forget Sam Villa? Did I forget Kayla Riley? They've all been on it. Okay? So watch our shows. They're a lot of fun. Next 2 weeks, we have Jamal Edmonds on May 19th. probeauty.org/NAHA if you missed any of Cassie's interview here today. Thanks again, Cassie. You've been an absolute dream. And thank you, everyone, for watching. I'm Michael Shaun Corby, and we are NAHA. See you soon.